Hey folks, Robin Robbins here, founder of TMT and MSP Success magazine, again with another titan of our industry, Mr. Bruce Gibbs. I'm very excited to have him on. He is the founder and president of GFI Digital, based in Jefferson City. He is a well, I guess it's in St. Louis, but you are a Jefferson City, Missouri native. I guess I should to clarify that. Bruce began his career at Modern Business Systems, a family business where his father and his mentor, Haley Gibbs, introduced him to the industry, in which he found a passion for improving customer experiences. As the top performing account rep, he earned his way into sales management, which I love. He transitioned through the acquisition of MBS to Alco Standard and eventually Icon, where he was challenged to grow a struggling branch. In the 1990s, after growing from 4 to 160 employees in Chicago, Bruce proved himself to be an industry leader. In 1999, he moved to St. Louis and started GFI Digital. In the first year, you had 4 employees and $1 million in revenue. To date, GFI Digital is thriving with over 350 employees, probably more than that, and 140 million in revenue. Truly a top titan in our industry, in the top 1% of not only growth, but also just success and longevity. His commitment to the industry and the markets we serve has afforded a number of awards and accolades from vendor partners and customers alike. So you've been at this game for a minute, Bruce.
Oh, very long time. You know, we've had GFI Digital now 26 years.
Wow.
So, May 5th of 99, broke off and just started with 0 customers. And we just celebrated our 50th copier in the field. So we started as a traditional Sharp copier dealer. And then years later, we picked up Ricoh. And so in the copier industry, we're one of the last privately held companies that's over 100 million. And so we're part of a peer group there that there's like 8 of us that get together once a year and talk all the time. And then
there's 8 of you. I think that's kind of funny.
There's not a lot left. You know, most guys sell and we're not for sale. But we like building the business. We've learned when we worked for corporate America, we saw what happens after the sale. And when Wall Street takes over or investors take over, we just don't want to be a part of that. So we're excited. We've got plans for the next generation, and we look forward to a very long future. In the MSP business, we started 10 years ago. We were having customers. We would be installing a copy machine, and they would say, "Hey, do you mind if your guy looks at my router? Is it okay if?" And so we thought, well, we probably ought to get into this. And so we hired a couple guys that were very IT savvy. You know, we bit the bullet, paid the price. And now we're sitting here with 110 IT employees and growing the business. And it's on track to be well over $40 million this year with a great bottom line. And we've been through a lot of challenges. And we've learned a tremendous amount, and we continually, we look at it as an opportunity to scale and just, I think in 5 years time, the MSP business will be large as the copier business, if not larger.
For sure. Yeah. So that's interesting. You started the business from scratch and it was just Sharp, copiers, printers. You saw this opportunity for managed services 10 years ago, which there were already a number of established MSPs out there, right?
Right.
So I'm just curious. So talk about that transition, because there are some people that'll be watching this who have a different kind of business. They're not pure play MSP, because they do come to me. Like I had a guy who came to me who, and he went through our program. He was a dental supply company, and right. Same deal. He said, we sell x-rays and scanners and whatnot. And he said, we get calls from people, from our customers saying, hey, the scanner doesn't work. Can you help us with IT or whatever? And so he was starting an MSP. So I'm just curious. I mean, you had customers. So what was your strategy? Was it cross-sell? And if it was, how did that process go? What did you learn?
At the beginning, it was cross sale, and then what we learned is that the IT business is not the copier business, and we did not promote copier technicians to IT engineers. You have to hire IT savvy engineers, and so we think that a lot of our success has come from that we understand the difference. The employee that we have, a great employee on the copier side, took that job because they like that profession. So we have always hired an IT professional on the IT side, and not, in fact, we have a career path on the call center from our print IT call center. If they're there and they show the expertise and take the training, they can move into what we call the call center on the IT side. And that's the only career path that we have. But from sales, we don't promote the copier sales reps to IT sales reps. We have synergy. That's what's made us successful, is the synergy between everyone talking about our MSP business. And the leads following in from the copier side is overwhelming. I mean, our growth this year is 24% on the MSP side. And it'll be a lot larger the last half of the year, but we have to sit back and take what we can, because you can't outgrow your infrastructure. One of the things that we made the mistake at the beginning was growing really fast and burning people out. And we can sell more than we can support. And we have to be very careful on making sure that we have the skill set to support the customers that we're taking on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in there I want to unpack. So, because there are people who have come to me who their sales reps, their engineers, their whole business is around a VAR business model, or even hardware still. There are still some people out there just clinging to hardware or some kind of, just VAR service. And they struggle with this. They want to get into managed services. And I think what they're trying to do is get their current employees who are used to selling a box and servicing that or their sales reps. And because they come to me and they go, well, how do we incentivize our sales reps? Because they're really successful at selling this, but we can't get them to sell managed services. And so what I'm hearing from you is that you had to hire, you needed a squirrel to climb a tree instead of taking a fish swimming in a pond. You had to hire you. So that's what the path that you took.
The sales cycle's much longer. So really where our mistakes was if you're hiring technicians, engineers, and you're going to have a skill set to take care of a number of customers. If you're hiring someone that came from corporate America in IT and they don't understand that this is a very big variety of technologies, and you also have to have the skill set that you're willing to talk to people on the phone on a regular basis and a lot of different personalities. And that's the hard thing about hiring for an MSP engineer, is they go through the interviewing process and you stress that you're going to be talking to an architect. You're going to be talking to a banker. You're going to be talking, just all different businesses. And the normal IT person, when we started out, came from corporate America, where they just talked to whoever worked wherever the company they were. And so getting that skill set and that mindset that you're going to want to be in a business that has a variety of personalities, that was our biggest challenge getting started.
So how did you find great people? Maybe you can give some idea, because I know everybody watching this, I hear it over and over again. I can't find great engineers, especially the small guys, because they're competing with larger organizations like yourself who have a really good upward trajectory of career path, where you have benefits, where you have exciting work, maybe training programs, career development. So talk about, from the lens of what maybe you do today and what you did early on, how do you find and develop great talent?
The biggest thing I believe in is you've got to have a quality pay comp program, and you have to have availability for training. And our biggest weakness until really recently in the last year is good managers in the IT space. We were so focused on what the individual's talent was And so we were promoting guys into leadership roles that were engineers, and we couldn't get that group of people to really be leaders and to be managers of people that could share the vision, share the culture, and understand the customers' complaints as well as the employees and making employees satisfaction. We put people in an operation position, and then we find out that there's 6 people on the team, 5 of the people are not being managed correctly. So focusing in on what really a true leader and a manager first, and paying the right manager and the right person to lead your operation. And that is finding that right person that can actually be a true mentor is a really big deal. And we struggled with that for a long time. And I can say now we're in a really good position, but it's taken a long time to realize that a really technical guy that has a personality that has never really been a mentor to people, that is a big mistake that we've made for years.
Yeah. It's like, I think, the Peter principle, you promote somebody to the level of incompetence. And I think running a division, being what we call GMs, like a general manager, like they
Right.
are managing people, they're managing a P&L, they have to know how the business operates, systems, processes, work with customers. That is an entirely different skill than the technical skill of doing the work itself, right?
Right. And what I found, I'm sorry to cut you off, what I found in the last several years is that the talent pool of IT managers, when you work for corporate America, and they work for you at corporate America, you just tell them what to do and when to do it. And if they don't take it, that's that. But if you're building a skill set around taking care of customers that are so important, you have to have a leader that will actually listen to the employee and come with the problems and then address them. And that's where our biggest weakness was as we were new. You have to continually be listening to your engineers and listening to what the customers have to say and being able to respond to the different technologies.
And knit it together, like make it work together. Yeah.
That's
now,
right.
when you said that was your biggest challenge, and I think that's a challenge for every single person listening to this, even myself, finding, I think a team rises and falls on the leader. If there's a team that's dysfunctional, you look at the leader and the leader's not doing what they're supposed to do. So I'm with you 100%. And I know those leaders are extremely hard to find. So did you hire them? Did you develop them? Like, what was your strategy to where you got to today?
We've done both. We have guys that we've developed. Our senior manager over our field engineering, we have 13 locations. And so we have a structure in place where the field engineering managers are responsible for the field technicians, field engineers. And so those managers now, our number one skill set is to listen, promote, and take care of the engineer's problems. Not listen to the engineer, tell them just to get the job done. I mean, we've had all that, where we had guys that seemed to be really technically inclined, really seemed like good people. And then after you go meet with the customers, what the engineers weren't satisfied. So you got to hire somebody and pay the money to have a good leader so that they really will listen to the employees and follow through with what it takes to make those employees happy.
What's your favorite book or course on leadership that you run your org with?
The Advantage by Patrick Lencioni. Yeah.
Okay.
We follow it. So when I worked, my mentors were all about open book management, weekly meetings, quarterly meetings, and sharing what's going on. And Patrick Lencioni with The Advantage has been our book and our mentor for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. What about the book you think is better than all the other leadership books that you've read?
The number one thing about Patrick Lencioni has 5 books. Mm-hmm. And so if you just follow his structure and his skill sets, I think you would really help yourself.
Yeah, I love the 5 dysfunctions of a team. I think that kind of just nails it. It's like if you have your business is not working.
Yeah.
It's one or more of those things, and how to fix it. So
it really is. Yeah. Humble, hungry, smart is a big part of our interviewing process, and then everything that's in the triangle. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So one of the things I want to go back to is you said you implied you don't really have a sales problem. It's more of a fulfillment. And you mentioned selling faster than you were capable and able to actually effectively onboard, support a customer the way they needed to. I think most of the people in this industry would love to have that problem. They're dealing with the opposite problem, which is there's not enough sales going on, especially right now. I'm hearing from a lot of MSPs, and it is historically, we're at a 15-year low for MSP growth, MSP services growth. So you obviously have sales in your DNA. That's who you are. What would you tell to the people out there who are struggling to get sales? When you look at other MSPs or smaller businesses, what are they doing wrong that they need to fix in order to grow to someone to your size?
2 words. Cold call.
Cold call.
We have 60 copier reps on the street every day cold calling. We still train. I trained 8 new sales reps yesterday on what it means to get in and what it means to set an appointment. And then once they get in and they build a relationship, then we have expertise on the IT side. Our IT sales reps have the best job ever because they don't have to cold call because we have 60 people cold calling. Now they'll work with them to build synergies, but everybody wins when we sell an MSP. So what we do is we have a comp program for our IT sales force on the MSP, and then we have the copier sales rep gets the first month of the billing. So let's say it's $2,500. They get $2,500, and then they get a half of that the next year. And so they're motivated to go out and get those deals and build that relationship. So when we started, so it's 10 years ago, we probably had 10,000 customers. Now we're, above 18,000 customers. But believe it or not, 35% of our 223 MSP contracts are not copier customers. So they've been on a cold call, they've given a site seller, and the customer's like, I don't really care about copy machines, but I really am interested in your IT services. And then they bring in the IT person. And it really is just making sales calls, Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because one of the campaigns that we give our clients, it's not a direct mail campaign, but it's a prospecting campaign, and it utilizes a object mail and emails and phone calls and LinkedIn social media and cleaning and targeting a list. It's all these things to get in the door. And that's the one thing that I have a really hard time with is the smaller MSPs don't have a sales force. It's the owner. He sells.
When you don't have anything to do, I mean, in the event that there's a day that you have a down day, grab a bunch of business cards and start walking into accounting firms, law firms, banks, all these customers. Once you get in and find out what's going on, the follow-up call is a lot easier after the cold call.
So you're canvassing, you're like literally.
I'm talking like getting in the car and going out and making 20 cold calls. We do it every day.
So each rep does 20 cold calls every day.
Well, it depends on their business model and how experienced they are. Our senior sales reps on the copier side, they don't really have to cold call anymore, but we all
accounts, getting referrals still. Yeah.
Believe it or not, our copier business is up 12% year over year and doing quite well. But those IT guys ride along with the copier sales reps and help them make cold calls on targeted accounts. Yeah.
What's easier to get in with, a copier messaging or an?
Oh no, the copier reps are like, "Hey, we sell IT," and then they're like, "Oh, come on back." Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. No,
I got to interview your top, but you got to promise me, maybe you won't do this. I'll have to try and get wine and dine you and let you get one of your top reps to talk to my team, or not my team, but my members about how to do that. Because we call it canvassing, or we even call it a 5-around drop. Like if you're at a customer's place, drop 5 business cards, 5 around that, like in that building or something like that.
Yeah, no, our top sales rep, you would love her, and she would tell you how she does it. But the real thing is we've never quit cold calling, and we never will. Big buildings in big cities are harder, so you have to have a set appointment, and then you canvas down until you get kicked out. It takes a lot of courage. Our number one thing we're looking for is courage, but believe it or not, that's where we get all our business.
Yeah, I love it because it's people, like, when I tell them this, they're like, oh, that's old school. You can't do that. There's no soliciting signs everywhere. And I'm like, no, it still works. And, it works better than ever because everybody else thinks it doesn't work and they're not doing it. They're not walking in anymore.
Cold call. I'm turning 60 this year. And this month, I've probably made 40 cold calls myself because I was with a sales rep. We were in a town and I said, we don't have anything going on the rest of the day. Let's just go ahead and canvass this park. And we found 2 really good relationships that we didn't know about.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I love it. And so tell me about, you're a salesperson. You were the sales manager. What do you think it takes? You mentioned one thing, courage, for for the people watching this and they want to hire that outside sales rep. Where do you find sales reps and what do you look for?
Right now, we don't hire very many experienced sales reps into our culture because they don't like cold calling. So we like to find a young, aggressive person that wants to be taught sales. So we're very unique. Mm-hmm. Our sales school dinner was Thursday night. They went to a Cardinal game last night. They're here in St. Louis for a week getting trained by our corporate trainer and manufacturers. And we have they get educated on everything we do. But our sales managers are really focused on that. If I was starting up an MSP right now, I would hire a focused, good person that could run a sales team and then say, you get enough business, then I'll add it. That's how we did it. And then we'll add another rep. And you go and get more business, and then we'll add another rep. And before you know it, you could have 3 or 4 sales reps bringing in more business than you can possibly support.
Mm-hmm. So you hired that sales leader first.
Yeah, our challenge has been our desk can't keep up. So we got off focus of what really our business is. And our business is that you have to have a successful desk closing 95 to 97% of the tickets, right? So we just took on a big customer in Kansas City, and I'll say the name because nobody can take it because I switched my insurance to them because they went with us, Bouquet Insurance. It's $28,000 a month. It was from a cold call on a copier sales rep. And the guy's a cool owner, and he says, well, if you switch your insurance, I'll talk to you. And they called me, and I just thought, what the hell? So I went over there, and he really was cool. So, my HR girl's mad, and I say, we're switching, and we've sold them 30 copiers, and they're paying $28,000 a month. And that was all from a cold call. And that's the kind of things that happen to us. Now, when we took them on, we had to add 3 people to our desk. So and they were in a position where they couldn't wait. They were so miserable with their current MSP. That was kind of why the owner was involved on the cold call, because he was unhappy. And then we're like, whoa, we're taking this on too soon. And so then what happens to us is we overwork our desk, and then our customer satisfaction goes down, and then we're dealing with all those problems. So we've been staying ahead of the hiring. So we're poised to be able to grow this next. We just got a contract in Kansas City for $22,000 a month, and they want to onboard August 1st. And along with an array of smaller ones, we still like $2,500 a month ones. I mean, there's good margin in those, but we're trying to manage our onboarding and managing we're feeling very confident about Kaseya for our future. Mm-hmm. And we've been on ConnectWise with all the tools, and you have to have so many different tools, whether it's IT Glue, Barracuda, whatever the tools may be. I just think that Kaseya has skinned the cat, where they have all of the technology under one owner, one company, and we're really excited. I just was on the phone with Adair. We're looking forward to that new technology and more intelligence with their Cooper intelligence. And we think that we'll be a much more scalable customer. When we do forecasting, we do quarterly forecasting these days, and we look at it and we're like, all right, let's go get those 3 deals, and then let's only onboard 2. Because, once you get that, it's hard to go get a deal and then say, well, time out. We're not going to onboard it for 60 days, 90 days. So we're trying to stay ahead we are staying ahead of the hiring. How are we hiring? I got mad 2 years ago in a meeting when guys were saying they couldn't find people. I said, give me all the resumes. I had 14 interviews in the next 3 days. We ended up hiring 2 of the 14. You've got to interview every day. And we don't have a full-time interviewer. Every manager is responsible for staying 100% of their manpower. And you don't want to be that manager that doesn't have 100% of manpower just out of peer pressure from the other managers who are like, I'm full manpower. So we're right now 3 people over manpower. And the other thing that I'm learning as part of True Methods, I was never part of a peer group. So when I was at Kaseya Connect, I heard Gary say, I quit counting after he said community 17 times, because on the copier side, we're all a big community. So we've been out here lonely on our own. And so I couldn't be more excited. So I'm going through the onboarding process of being that peer group. And one of the things is that I'm doing is we have not fired an MSP customer. And on Thursday, after being part of True Peer Conversations, I sent the partners in a law firm an email and said, I can't support you the way you want to be supported. They won't use the desk, array of all kinds of problems.
Right.
And on Monday, I got stopped by 3 engineers thanking me for having their back, and it's ongoing management of the desk, making sure it's good, having the proper engineers with the right skill sets, and then not taking on customers with the wrong technology stack. We make that mistake. We did a deal while we were going through the transition of management, and we'll lose $15,000 before we'll make a dime on a bad onboarding. We're making the customer happy, but the amount of resources we're putting into it to get the deal through the finish line, to get to the benchmarks that Kaseya has, it's going to take us a year. Yeah. We should have said no to that deal from the start, but we still make mistakes.
Yeah. Well, I think, business is, there's so many moving parts, and there's so much that's dynamic to it. We don't have crystal balls. I think it's just a matter of making sure that we make more right decisions than wrong, and learn from our mistakes and keep moving on. So, wow. There's just a ton of that to unpack in what you just talked about. Let me ask you something before I lose my thread on the sales side of things. Sure. What about marketing? You've got your salespeople. What are you doing? Is there anything in marketing that has really helped you grow the business?
We have a good marketing department. I have to say that, or the 3 girls in marketing would kill me, but I love them. And we don't do email campaigns. We do a lot of charity golf events. To the tune of $400,000 a year. Oh, wow. In just being in front of people, and those work. We do. We make sales calls. We make cold calls, and then we follow up. They do unbelievable marketing. We have great site sellers. We have good leave behinds. You can look on social media. They have a good campaign going with Sam, one of my nephew that's a sales manager here, and he's funny. But as far as marketing, they're more after one of the 60 sales reps gets in, that's when we take marketing over. But as far as I've looked into that, all the new sophisticated where you can hire the guys that'll do the AI calling, and it's working for my friends in the big cities. I don't think that's going to be very well taken over in marketplaces where we have 10 or 15% market share in the copier business. I haven't done that. We just continually make outside sales calls.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me it's relationship building, it's referrals. Even going to charity golf events, which a lot of our members do as well. It's about getting to know people and the face to face, because I think the AI calling, it'll get better. It'll continue to get better and better. But I think at the end of the day, especially when it comes to IT, and I think IT services very much is a trust sale, meaning I have to trust you in order to give you access to, you're running my network, you're holding all my data. That's like a big, big responsibility. I think it's very much a trust sale. And I think the more we get into this fake digital AI world, the more people are going to want real people, authenticity that trust, that human factor. That's my feeling. Not to say we don't use AI, because we do in marketing, but I think that it's going to actually make the real person more valuable, not less, because people want that connection. That's what it sounds like to me. You're very good at relationships, connection, doing the right thing, taking care of people, building your reputation.
We've never not closed a referral to this day. I think referrals and asking your customers for referrals is really important. That happens to us, and that's a really good way to get an MSP is through a referral, because they hear, man, I hear you're dealing with this customer and they're really happy. And so we've done really well on referrals. But again, we just make a lot of sales calls.
I love it. Now, I want to be respectful of your time. So I have a couple questions. I just want to know, number one, where do you see the MSP industry going? Like if we look 10 years down the road, even 5 years down the road, the way everything evolves so quickly, what do you think MSPs, what are you doing right now to continually stay ahead, whether it's AI, cybersecurity, compliance? Where do you see the trends going in 5 years?
I believe it's just going to get bigger. I met the only industry titan, if you will, that I ever met prior to meeting the executives of Kaseya with Fred and his crew was Paul Dipple. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he told us to go big and not to go small. And all we were selling was small. Now, I did not make the transition, but over time, we have now, every quarter, we're getting a $15,000 or a $20,000 MSP contract. And there is big opportunity out there in large accounts, whether they're just using your desk or they're just using backup. There's all kinds of different strategic ways to get larger deals. I don't want to lose sight of the small law firm in Rolla, Missouri that wants to pay $2,500 because we can make them happy as a customer and still do the benchmarking that I'm learning from True Methods. Mm-hmm. So, but I think in 5 years, it's just going to get larger. And with the sophistication that Kaseya is coming to us on the desk, we can earn the respect of major corporations.
Mm-hmm. And so you think going upstream, there's more opportunity, more growth, and going upstream, that's where you see the trends happening.
I had an executive of a major corporation in St. Louis that I won't name, but he stopped me at a party on the 5th of July. And he said, I hear you're in the IT business and I've trusted you on the output business so much. I want to visit with you. And we had a visit yesterday, and it's going to be $80,000 a month in just overall, just mundane updates. He's having problems with retaining, one of his 10 IT guys, and his CIO saying, hey, we need just to worry about our factories. We don't need to worry about all these computers. I mean, it's starting to happen. And I think the next 5 years is the biggest opportunity that we all have.
I agree. And then tell me about your vision for GFI Digital. Where do you see, like as a company, as you, are you, who is going to continue the legacy? What is it for you over the next 10, 20 years?
Right. So my daughter, and a group of young guys, that are 30, 35 years old are all eager. And, we've got a really good recession plan being put in place. She is having a baby, hopefully today.
Oh, congratulations.
Back from maternity leave, we're going to work on what the plan is for all the guys that are going to support her. She's a financial background, not a sales background, which is kind of scary. But my good friend Chip Crunk in Nashville got away with putting a CFO in front of his. It's kind of a joke, but AJ, and being very successful. So I'm looking forward to transitioning. I'm in no hurry. I'm turning 60. I have a junior in high school. So I'm in no hurry to call it quits. And, I think I have as much fun at work as I do when I'm hunting, fishing, skiing, swimming, whatever I do. So we have a really good quality of life here for all our employees. We've been best places to work in St. Louis for 8 years running, and just really enjoy seeing all the people. We went over 410 employees last month, 112 in the IT business, and that looks to be forecasted to grow with 14 more people by the end of the year. So it's just a lot, but it's really going in the right direction. And it's all about having the right leadership and the right taking care of employees. And, my father always said the copier business is the people business. Well, I think every business is the people business. And we really are pushing that culture downstream and making sure people understand that if they don't like what we're doing and we listen to them and we understand where we need to go, they understand where we need to go, there's always going to be turnover, and you can't worry about that. You just got to move forward, because you can't make every engineer or it doesn't matter what employee it is, like what you're doing. But if you find the right skill set and the person believes in your vision, this business is going to be huge for everybody. And with that, they're not paying me. Mm-hmm. I really believe in it. My dad invented the software for the copier business, right? He was the Fred of the copier business with OMD.
Okay.
I got paid so much for every ticket that I loaded in the system. And I can't tell you enough about every MSP that gets on the Kaseya bandwagon. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. They can lead you right into the right direction.
Yeah.
I really believe. And through that peer group, being part of a peer group, we haven't been a part of a peer group on this. And part of my success on the copier side was listening to my peers. So when I was at Connect, and I'm sitting there in Vegas, the first thing I did was went to the CFO of Kaseya and said, I got to meet that Gary guy, man. And then we have a background that kind of passed. And I can't say enough. If you're talking 5 years from now and Kaseya keeps growing with their technology suites and their understanding of the business, it makes it easy for all of us. I have slept better since I went to Vegas. Mm-hmm. And saw the Kaseya Connect.
Yeah, that just happened a couple of months ago. Yeah.
And I don't know why we aren't on it already. Well, I do know, but I'm glad we're making the move from where we are today.
Perfect. Yeah, I think Fred's vision of the platform, what he told me, so I go back with Fred for a very long time. When he first started and took over as CEO of Kaseya, I actually just called him up out of the blue and said, hey, I know you don't know me from a sack of potatoes, but welcome to the industry, because Kaseya was a great sponsor of ours for years. And I invited Fred to come and to one of our producers club meetings, which is another group that we run. And he told his story. And I remember sitting there hearing how he researched this, his thought process, where the opportunity was. And I was just so impressed with that. I said, this guy knows exactly what he's doing, as far as his vision of consolidating all these tools into one platform and lowering the cost. And I knew it was going to be either Kaseya Datto or ConnectWise. I'm like, one of them is going to take the lead. And then Kaseya, obviously buying Datto, I was like, you know what, the game over. So they really are leading that initiative. It's very exciting to see them go. I mean, they were doing 50 million and now they're over 1.2 billion in revenue. That's just revenue. That's not, the valuation of the company. So it's pretty amazing to see.
Business owners, you're only as good as your banking relationship. We don't even need a bank right now other than to keep our money. But now I'm on the board of the bank, right? So it changes. But you need a banker, you need a software, you need a technology to run your business, and that needs to be your biggest partner. And then you need all your vendors. And all those relationships are what make an entrepreneur successful. And so many times as an entrepreneur, you get so built up with what you're doing that you forget really what you need to grow and to scale. And if this industry didn't have something like Kaseya, the frustration that we were having prior to that, I was very frustrated. And like I said, I called my wife from Vegas and I said, this thing is going to explode. So I'm so happy about that. So you ask about the 5 years, I think we'll double. We know we will double in size with Cooper, the technology that Kaseya is bringing to the table, our churn rate, new word from Kaseya, True Methods, right? Watching how many you're losing versus how many you're gaining. We always watch churn rate on the copier business. And now we're watching that. And we're going to have a lower percentage of churn. So we're going to lose less customers with their technology. And I just don't think there's a better place to be than right here, right now, and going forward.
That's very exciting.
Fired up about it.
Go. All right, Bruce. Well, thank you so much. This has been a great interview. I am going to take you up on your top sales rep if she will spend some time with me.
Oh yeah.
I'll bribe her. Is she a wine drinker? She's that. I'll tell you, when I'm cold calling with her, she's like, this makes me nervous. You're just so hardcore. And I said, no. So she can't cook. If you gave her the recipe to cook spaghetti, she would mess it up. But she takes cookies to her follow-up appointments, and it's so cute to watch the success. And that's a bad word, but she, it's just amazing. And she'll do $2 million in gross profit on copy machines, and she has onboarded over $60,000 a month in MSPs. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah,
you definitely should talk to her.
I will. All right,
and we're just becoming a part of the MSP community. Like I said, we have been out here on our own and had no community, so we didn't know about TruePeer, and so we're looking forward to being a part of the MSP community like we have been on the Sharp and Rico side.
Very cool. All right. Well, Bruce, it's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for taking some time with us today.
All right. Thank you.